Everybody, I'm back today with Color First. This is a video series that I do with the amazingly talented Natalie Dill, and she will have a video up on her channel, which you can find down below. Today, this is what our inspiration is for color this month. I actually took that photo and sent it to her, and I jokingly was like, yeah, let's use this for Color First, because that color has been like, I bought a dress, I had a purse, I had my nails done, I all matched, and she was like, okay, let's do it. So we decided to do it. So that's what we're gonna do. I searched my studio from one end to the other, and I found the closest match to that gorgeous corally color in this line from 49th and Market. This is the Avesta line, and you can see it like right there. It's so pretty. So I grabbed this one. I also grabbed some matte fab foil from Spiegel Mom Scraps. My thought is we'll pull out some dyes, kind of play with creating something with this gorgeous foil. And then I chose this photo, which is of me and my niece. So my thoughts when I decided was trying to pick out product was I wanted to pull in that color for sure. I wanted to pull in some matte gold because my purse, which is sitting on my lap, has this exact color. All the hardware on it is this color. Since the photo was of me, I wanted to make sure that I scrapbooked a photo of me. So that was my plan. And then I completely changed my mind and decided I wanted to stamp. So I grabbed Do-Si-Do Coral Cabana Polished Icing on the Cake, my favorite detail black from Brutus Monroe. And then I have this brand new layering stamp set from Ulta called Ethereal Roses. And we are going to just have some fun. I'm going to stamp and die cut and create my own floral elements for my layout. So this is a brand new stamp set for me. I just bought it. I haven't put it with ink. I haven't practiced, nothing. So I grabbed a couple sheets of white cardstock, and I knew going in that I was probably going to mess up a couple of these flowers till I figured out how they layer together. So I have lots of layering stamps, and in comparison to other ones, this one is easy. So this isn't a hard one to line up. It isn't a hard one to use. And Ulta has done a lot with their layering stamps to make them really easy to use. So you have incredibly easy to follow directions that come with the stamp set. And then on the stamps itself, the stamps are all numbered and all of the layers are marked and kind of put together. So it is layering stamp sets have come a long way, and I really think Ulta is the best in the business when it comes to stamps that you can layer on top of each other. So I am going to go ahead, I'm going to use all of these different colors, and then towards the end I also did a couple using some shea butter ink. So a couple of tips and tricks I have for you for layering stamps. First of all, make sure you prime your stamps before you stamp with them. So I rub them on my arm, easy peasy. Some people use like a gum eraser or to kind of rough up the edges, or you can take a scrap paper and just stamp the stamp onto a piece of scratch paper over and over and over again, because that will really get a lot of that oil off. So that's what you want to do. You want to make sure you prime your stamps. The other thing is, when it comes to layering stamps, practice, practice, practice. The more you practice with a stamp set, the more you use it, the more times you layer it up, the better you get at all the different layers, and you start to get a feel for how they layer together, how they go, where to mark things. The packaging will give you like suggested places to kind of line up, but I know with these, by the time I got done, with the 20 or so I stamped, plus a couple that I messed up, so I probably stamped about 30 of these flowers, I was using different spots to kind of line things up with, and that was just because it was easier for me. So start with Altenews suggested places and where you should line your stamps up, but just know that after a while you're going to get the hang of it, and your eye will just naturally find another spot that it likes to follow to help you layer up. When you're choosing your colors, always choose colors that are light to dark. They don't have to be high contrast. A lot of the ink colors that I used and layered on top of each other were very, very similar. But I used Catherine Pooler inks, and those tend to dry back. And once all of these flowers dried, you could see every one of the layers. Like, the colors worked really well together. And then I'm going to do a couple, and you'll see those at the end, where I did the first layer in shea butter. I did those off camera, but they turned out really pretty too. So you have lots of options. Play with your colors, play with your inks. It doesn't have to be perfect from the beginning. You'll kind of notice that there's a couple that I did that, still looked like flowers and were still adorable, but weren't perfect. And then there are a few that don't make it on the layout because I didn't finish them because I was too far off with the layers. So just give yourself some time and some practice, and expect going in to always stamp more. Like, if you in your head you're going, I want 3 flowers, well, know that you might have to stamp 6 or 7 to get 3 nice ones that you want to use, and kind of just plan for that. I will leave a link to these stamps down below. I got them at a Cherry on Top, and I also purchased the die set. And I will tell you that once these are stamped and once I have them on my page, you cannot tell that these aren't die cuts from an ephemera pack. Like, they're so gorgeous. I absolutely love them. So here are all of those flowers that I stamped and die cut out, and now we can just go ahead and create our layout. And the layout comes together really quick because I did all that stamping. I have all of my embellishments. I'm going to start by matting my photo in some black cardstock. I want some pops of black on this layout because we do have black in our color first inspiration photo, and my roses have black detail. I knew going in that I wanted to do something with a little bit of like a peekaboo element. So I went through my Creative Memories cutting tools because I didn't want a circle. I wanted I wanted something different. I wanted a shape of some sort. So I decided to go with an oval. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to go ahead and cut like half of this oval so that it is just half of the oval. And then I'm going to back it with that pink paper and rough up the inside edges of my half oval. I didn't have a definite like page design I wanted to use for this. I just am going to kind of play with a couple ideas. I have this little black strip that I thought I might use as a little bit of an accent piece. And I have the oval, and I did pull out this kind of buttery, more neutral colored pattern from the collection. And I actually decided to cut a 3-inch strip of that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to rough up the edges and place it down the side, the opposite side as that oval. And then I'm going to play with layers. So my idea, I still am going to play with this black strip a little bit, but I decided I don't like it. It's too much for the page. I'm going to take all these kind of layering pieces. I'm going to start to pop them around, and I very quickly decide that what I want to do is I want to have something that has a lot of layers, and that I want to have these 2 elements. So whatever I place inside that oval I cut and the photo, I want to have both of them be the main focus of my layout and have them almost touch, but not quite touch. So I have pulled together so many embellishments. I'm not going to use them all. I'm really only going to use a few. Well, I use a good bit, I guess. When you add in all the stamped flowers, I did kind of really embellish this layout, but what I wanted was layers, lots of layers. So I'm going to add some frames. I'm going to add that little laser cut pink kind of lace piece. There are some phrases that I really wanted to add to this page that really worked with the theme and worked with what I wanted to convey, maybe is a good word, with this layout. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to keep kind of layering pieces up and like slowly go through this pile of die cuts, as it were. I'm not adhering anything down yet. I'm just kind of tucking and deciding where I want all these layers to be. And what I'm basically doing is, once I have these ephemera, you kind of saw how I separated out the flowers. Once I have these ephemera pieces where I want them, or where I think I want them, then I can just kind of go ahead and get these ephemera pieces and all of these layers stuck down. And then I'm going to go and find nooks and crannies that are where I can tuck in the flowers. So I used my tape runner for this. I didn't use wet glue. I didn't use anything that was going to be so super sticky I couldn't move it, because, you're not sure. I wasn't 100% confident in my ability to remember where all these different layers go. So I decided that the best course of action would be to use my most forgiving adhesive. I know that I want to add some foam tape to some of these elements, starting with these cute little circle tags. I have two different thicknesses of tabby dots. So I have one set of tabby dots that are a little bit thicker than another set. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take advantage of that difference in thickness, and I'm going to pop both the circles up, but have them be popped up on different widths of foam tape, so they're not at the same level. And I'm also going to start tucking in some of these roses. So I wanted to play around with that that oval that I created. So I'm tucking some of the roses underneath and into and around that oval. And then I can put some other elements on top of the roses, especially right now, because right now I just have a couple of little phrase elements I want to add. So it's a good time to start kind of tucking and adding these roses in to some of those nooks and crannies that I was talking about earlier. And so that's pretty much how I'm going to finish this layout up. I'm just going to find these cute little nooks and crannies and kind of tuck these roses in and around different areas of my design. So this photo is just a photo of my niece and I. I have a bunch of photos from this event, so I didn't really need to make this page be about the event, but rather I wanted this page to just be kind of like about her and I. I don't often, you guys see me scrapbook her sister Ella quite often, but Anna, it doesn't get as much attention in my scrapbook. So I wanted to make sure I had a really pretty page of her and I, especially at this event because we had matching dresses on. If you haven't yet, be sure to head over and check out Natalie's scrapbook page. She does this Color First series with me. She is super talented. I've already seen her layout and it is so gorgeous, and she did a lot of stamping too. So be sure to head over, check out her channel. If you are coming from Natalie's channel, welcome. I am so happy to have you here and joining me today. If you like my style or my little chatty voice, I would love a thumbs up. You can also hit the subscribe button or leave a comment if you like. And that's where we're going to call this one done. So I'm just going to tuck in these roses, get them in place, and then I decided I didn't need anything else. I thought about, a sequin or a sparkle or something, but I was really just feeling like this was full. And so I didn't feel like I needed more on this particular page. Have a wonderful Tuesday, and I will see you again soon. Bye.